This is the least fun I've had playing Football Manager since, I think, FM16 when I first started. And it's not because I was losing games. I've lost games. I've gone on winless streaks. It's all part of the game. It's all part of things you need to figure out. But for the first time in FM26, when I got into that situation, I felt like nothing I did mattered. This save killed my motivation little by little, until it was just a chore, and it almost made me not enjoy Football Manager altogether. Let me show you how Siracusa completely broke me. Siracusa was not just the save for me. It was a long-term story. It was mapped out from beginning to the end, from the history of the team, through the players that we're going to sign, to all the goals that we were going to achieve and bring back Syracuse to the state of glory that it once had. It had everything that makes Football Manager so much fun for me. The rebuild, the new gens, the legends of the club, the signings, the wins, the losses, rivalries, eventually the league wins, the trophies, Champions League. And it started with low expectations. Siracusa just made their way from the 4th tier into the 3rd just last season. I was taking over a newly promoted team in the 3rd tier of Italy. The board expectation was to fight bravely against relegation. It was perfect. And the season actually started very well. Our first 2 competitive games were 2 games in the cup against 3rd tier teams. What better chance do we have of winning a trophy than competing against only 3rd tier teams in the cup? That's the same level as us. And we opened with 2 wins. Everything was looking great. And then the league started and everything collapsed. I lost almost every single league game. No momentum, no rhythm, nothing I could trust, nothing I could hold on to, nothing that would make me in charge of what was happening on screen. I tried different tactics, different players, mentality, roles. I sped things up, I slowed things down. I mixed up formations. Nothing helped. As if I weren't in control whatsoever. And I remember this specifically because this was, I think, one of the points during the save where I just felt completely hopeless. After 22 games in the league, I was like 1-3-18, something like that. And it wasn't like I wasn't paying attention. I was doing everything that I could to make it better, to make progress. But it was just like Football Manager did not respond to anything that I did. Like steering a car where the steering wheel is not attached to the wheels. The only thing that really kept me going was the cup. Because for whatever reason, despite the fact that we were so abysmal in the league, we were somehow progressing in the cup round after round after round. And it's not like we were playing teams that were just absolutely bad. We were playing teams who were way above us in the league. And we could beat them. Round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals. It was the one thing that could save my season. Maybe if somehow I could use this cup run to just reach the relegation playoffs in the league, it would give me enough momentum to somehow survive. And then came January and February. 9 games unbeaten, 7 in the league, 2 more in the cup. Out of nothing. It was so unexpected, I had no idea what to do. But I was so happy. I signed this one guy on loan, Hugo Cuenca, who was just lighting it up. He was the right winger for my team for so long, and he was delivering assists and goals. He made a beautiful comeback in the cup to bring us into the semifinals, I think. It was a miracle. Going into March, we were just 1 point behind Catania in 19th, 1 point from the relegation playoffs. Earlier when we were 1-3-18, I think, we were 17 points behind 19th, and I thought maybe things would start to click finally. This was going to be when the whole story took a beautiful turn. Except, I closed Football Manager. And when I loaded it up again, we lost almost every single game again. I didn't change anything. Not in the tactic, not in the personnel. I was trying to use the same formation, same players, same mentality that I did throughout the 9-game unbeaten run, but nothing worked. Nothing worked. All of a sudden, the switch was flicked once again. And the excitement that I had going into the final few games of the season, knowing that I'm 1 point behind the team in front of me, that excitement was just gone. It evaporated immediately. I was dead last once again. Not only dead last, hopelessly so. And I thought I was fighting bravely against relegation, just like the board expected. But when the final whistle blew at the end of the 38th league game, I was fired. Just like that. Story over. I've never been fired before. I don't think, at least I can't remember. Over the past, let's say, 9 years that I've played the game actively, I thought I accumulated quite a bit of knowledge to navigate Football Manager. And I just used those things to try and build Siracusa back up again. Except it didn't work this time for whatever reason. And the worst thing is that I feel like it wasn't me. Because I did change things. I did try to improve. The game just didn't let me. And it also didn't help probably that FM26 does a very poor job at showing you the entire world of soccer, of football. Throughout this journey, this short journey with Siracusa, I always felt like I was just in my own little bubble. Like I was feeling claustrophobic because I was suffering, but there was no context outside my own little suffering. It was like the world around me didn't exist. I kept getting the same stupid world news, whatever flash that Al Ali was monitoring Holland. But that was probably just annoying me all the more. It was just a tiny little box that I was logged into, suffering my way throughout the entire season. There was nothing that could have motivated me, that could have pulled me out of this hole that I've fallen into, that I think Football Manager dug me. It was just this infinite loop of losses. And here's the funny thing. I also have an AC Milan save that's currently ongoing, and I'm doing pretty good in that. I'm able to make good signings, the signings that I want. I feel like my tactical decisions matter. It's such a stark contrast compared to Siracusa. And as much as I love AC Milan, and I'm going to continue that save, for me, Football Manager has always been about taking a small club, building it up all the way, finding that story, that hook, the history, the place, or the players, or something that just calls for a rebuild, like awakening a fallen giant. AC Milan is just taking an already kind of rich club and just taking them back like 1 or 2 steps to reach the Champions League. But for me, it's about starting in the basement, and Siracusa was that. They were just promoted into the 3rd league. It was the perfect start to build them up using my knowledge and using the decisions that should matter. But in this save, they just didn't. And it might just be me, because I've been on Reddit, I've been on YouTube, everybody's saying, oh, FM26 is so easy, this is the easiest game yet. But also, everybody's playing in the freaking Premier League. In the Premier League, of course it's going to be easy. But I want more. And FM26 hasn't given it to me so far. It disconnected me from the game. And I'll continue. I'll load up another save. I'll have another story. But if that doesn't go well, what else am I supposed to do?